o'clock on the East Coast. It is 3 o'clock on the West Coast. It is the 22nd of May in the year of our Lord 2025. I'm looking at the levels over here. We should be good. Season 15, episode 46, 715 times. You have been welcomed to the Clubhouse Podcast, but not necessarily like this. Welcome. My name is Rod. I am the executive producer of the Clubhouse Podcast. And man, we got a lot going on today. So buckle up, kids. To my right is my co-host, and a man who's going to introduce himself as I fix the level on my microphone here. He is Alex.
Well, it's great to be back out at the ballpark here in Frisco, Texas, at the Bull Moose Saloon.
Yep.
Gonna have a great time for Thirsty Thursday, Rowdy Thirsty Thursday, presented by Twisted Tea at the Lazy River at Rough Rider Ballpark.
No such thing as free ads. On the other end of the table, right here at the Bull Moose Saloon, is the official fact checker of Sooner Gator Productions, and a man that was this close to wearing the wrong uniform. You may know him as It Booney, but his mama named him Don Ford. I'm going to call him Don Ford. Hey, man.
Be a fantastic Fate Forward. Pulled this out of the closet.
I'm just saying.
Yeah. Well, he was also about this far from not even being on the show.
Yeah. What's coming? If I don't see it, I can't see the screen.
Why are you wearing sunglasses?
Why are you wearing them?
Because they're prescription.
It's when you're cool, the sun shines on you 24 hours a day.
Future so bright, I need to wear
But
shades.
Alex said we are live at Riders Park, where the Rough Riders play. This is last year's Stars Night jersey because we're going to talk about it here in a minute. We are normally, one-stop shop for all things sports, entertainment, pop culture, and pro wrestling. We're going to save the latter for later because this week we're on the road and next week we're on the road. So we'll tell you more about that here in a minute. But tonight, 6:35 first pitch against the Midland Rockhounds.
Yes.
Great name for a team, but they're going to get beat. And I wear this hat because it matches the.
Well,
the sweater,
we know that this is actually a rematch from last year's playoffs,
Yep.
so it does have some in there. But yeah, names like Rockhounds, it's like you only get that in minor league games, and it's just perfect.
And you know what else you only get to do once?
What's that?
Oh no,
Congratulate Alex.
no, this is too much. Already too much. I regret.
Alex
I regret
has
it
now
instantly.
been married for 2 days.
What? I'm looking right at Don. He has no idea what's coming. Yeah, I got married on Tuesday.
Sean and Alex are now married. All three of us are now betrothed. So congratulations to you, sir.
Look at his face. You didn't invite me.
Nobody was there.
I would have wore a pink tutu to be a flower girl.
Dude, nobody was there. I had to see a picture on Facebook.
I didn't even get that.
Well, that's because you weren't paying attention. That's different.
No, we didn't. We didn't.
What do
talk
I
about it
say?
at all.
Mazel tov.
Thank you.
Alex got married Tuesday. Tomorrow is Rachel Wimberly's birthday, so we want to say happy early birthday to Rachel. A lot going on.
Yeah, Sean still just rolls her eyes where she was like, all right, it was supposed to be the 5th originally. Why the 20th? And I was like, it's a perfect date. 5 plus 20 equals 25. There's that short date. 52025 is a palindrome. You extend it out, it's still a palindrome. I'm not going to have any excuses to forget this when I forget everything.
Huh?
I was not told math was going to be required
yeah.
today.
Yes.
You set this up, sir. I'm doing it in your
Not
response.
even Bill is
All right, boys. Tomorrow,
Bill Nye. Bill
That's what I
Nye.
said.
He had a last name, Don.
tomorrow in the era ends.
Has a last name.
I'm very, very sad.
Yes.
Tomorrow is the final episode of Around the Horn on ESPN.
Oh, wow.
4,953 episodes was how long this show lasted. 22 years. That's more than Oprah.
Yep.
That's more than Late Night with David Letterman.
Mm-hmm.
That's more than Jerry Springer. Now, so this is episode 715.
Yeah.
So at this pace, for us to get to that number, I've done the math.
Oh, God.
It will take us another 81 and a half years.
Note he said I did the math immediately after saying I was told there wouldn't be math involved.
I did that math before this
I
show.
know.
That was math during the show.
But still, that is insane. I mean, think about it. When you and I first met, Around the Horn was one of the connective tissues for bonding.
Yep.
Because we were fans.
And on day one.
It's insane.
So why did they end? Did they say?
They have not confirmed, but there's any kind of answer you could think
Why
of.
not give them 50 more shows and go to the even 5,000?
But here's the thing.
That's not how they work, Don.
Here's and another interesting fact for you.
Okay.
Do you know what happened the day before the first episode of Around the Horn aired?
No.
The Super Bowl was in Houston.
Okay.
It was Patriots Panthers.
I was there.
What else happened that night, Don?
The streak, and also the Janet.
Nipplegate. Their first episode was the day after that happened.
Okay.
So, and Tony Reale was on Pablo Torre Finds Out the other day, and Pablo played him the intro for his first official show as host, and they critiqued it. Now, he had already hosted the show before. I was telling Alex this story before you got here. The first time he guest hosted, every person that could have guest hosted was in a different section of the country.
Now, clarify who you mean by he.
Tony Reale.
There you go.
Max Kellerman, the original host of Around the Horn, gets pink eye. He's the only one that can make it to the studio in time.
And just to clarify, you heard correctly. Pink eye.
And he has to wear Max Kellerman's suit. He didn't have a suit to wear.
Yep. Well, at the time, Tony Reale was like 16.
He was Stat Boy.
Yeah.
On PTI.
And it wasn't insulting because he was that age.
You know, and I'll say something about that game, that Patriot, because I was actually there. I was able to actually get a ticket to that game. Is we knew nothing about the Janet thing. And I'm leaving that game, everybody. That was such an incredible game. They'll be talking about that game forever. All they talk about now is Janet.
Yeah.
And I was more pumped about seeing the streaker at the half. They didn't show him, obviously, because they don't want to show people like that. But that was the streaker from like who's on Wimbledon and everything like that. I flipped out when I saw him. That just made me feel
so from this show, who has borrowed things from other sources, to Around the Horn, thank you for an amazing 22-year run. That show will be horribly, horribly missed.
It's over half my life, dude.
Yeah. So even though we think they've stolen bits from us too, and that's okay. Thank you for everything. And tomorrow I'm going to be a blithering mess as I watch that final episode.
I will feel very bad.
On a lighter note, and then we're going to go back to sad note. This weekend is the Indy 500.
That it is.
There is a very special event happening this weekend, gentlemen.
Uh-oh.
Tomorrow is what they call Carb Day, which we did Carburetors. Bob and Tom always does a live show from the Speedway on that day. But this year, for the first time ever, we will have the Wienermobile race. There are 10
I cannot
Wienermobiles.
believe this.
There are 10 Wienermobiles, all representing a different style of hot dog.
Oh, boy.
It's the first time all 10 of them have been in the same place at the same time in a decade.
Oh, wow.
And they're going to race.
I'm game on that.
But we have to clarify. There's no way they're going to race at the same time. They have to be timed. There's no way.
Oh no, they're going to. If that's the thing, I'm going to be very disappointed. I want all 10 of those bad boys on the Brickyard at the same time.
There's parking lots big enough. They could do it.
No, I want it on the oval, bro.
Oh, okay. They get starting positions and then go.
And I want celebrities in every one of them. In the Wienermobile. Not driving.
I need Samoa Joe as Sweet Tooth and at least
I want Wienermobile Cam.
Is there one with sauerkraut? Because that's the one I want to put my
I don't know. We're going to find out this weekend, Don. So
we have a fact checker who can find out.
I do want to go back a little bit.
Okay.
Reale was talking about Nipplegate. Did you know that moment is what birthed YouTube?
I do actually know this.
Is the next day, people were going, what happened? I need to see this. And there was no place to watch it. That led to the invention of YouTube. How about that?
Yeah, I knew that one.
We do want to send our best to the Indianapolis Colts.
Yes.
Jim Irsay passed away at 65. I'm sure McAfee had a huge bit on that today because that was his guy.
Well, he was one of those guys that any player that came through, he was one of the owners. And it's like, as much as we like to bag on Cowboys and Cowboys fans, Jerry's in this boat too. I don't know of a single player that doesn't clarify that Jim Irsay had their back at some point. And you take that and you have that from just like, but that's a billionaire owner. But he was also a man who was very well liked by a lot of people and arguably the largest Prince fan on the planet. And his collection speaks for itself. Because,
just a music fan in general. I mean, he has one of Ringo's original drum sets in his house.
But that's what I mean. I want to say that he owns more of Prince's concert-used guitars than any other collection on the planet.
I think you can say that just about because he has the number of guitars, period.
The guy even did that episode of Parks and Rec.
Yes.
I mean, that's the kind of guy he was. Let's have some fun. Be out there.
And he also...
He did it with the league, too.
Yeah.
He also has had multiple auctions of stuff that he has. Yes. He cares a lot about charity.
Yes.
Our best to his family and friends.
Yes,
from
absolutely.
Us on the show. While we're on NFL talk, it was officially approved that the NFL will let its players participate in the 2028 Olympics for flag football. This is 5-on-5.
Yeah.
You're still, I mean, first of all, you're going to be right in the middle of training camp. Second of all, there's still a margin for error for injury here.
I mean, we see it all the time. That has been taken into consideration. There has been something baked into this agreement that clarifies any protections for the teams should these players get hurt, because as we saw when they went to flag football for the Pro Bowl games,
don't get us started.
The very first, what was it, like 5 plays in, you had 2 torn ACLs.
Yep.
And you have that same
that was the weirdest part.
It's a different game, though, too. Regular football and play, they're 2 different games. Just because you're good at, you can be one of the best wide receivers in the game because you can move to avoid tackles. All it takes is that little flag beam thing, and you're at, you know.
But at that same time, they did say it's not guaranteed to have players in those spots, although we're pretty sure there will be players in those spots. But they did clarify that there will be tryouts. Anybody that's already on the national team will have first crack at the first reps. Yeah. We'll see how it goes. Do you think this is more about the marketing aspect than it is?
It's always about the marketing aspect.
No, I'm saying more than normal in this scope.
No, because they've been lobbying for this for a long time.
Well, if you get certain players in the Olympics, it'd make viewership in America up higher.
Well, I think I would do it everywhere.
I don't think you have that problem in this country. The Olympics are the one thing that I think
here's my thing. They always show certain sports of swimming, gymnastics in the summer games. How often do they show the soccer games compared to swimming or diving? And how often do you see flag football on prime time?
I think it's. I think part of it too is viewership convenience. You know, of course you're going to draw for the bigger sports, but when it's in the right time zone, people will watch that 24/7.
I understand, but it could get that sport into more primetime viewership if you have NFL players in there.
But something you're saying is giving me a question based on what your response was, Rob. Do you think that this is, if we boil it down, we know the answer to all things money. Do you think this is just the result of the NFL cutting a massive check and saying, look, we want to go global, this is our best route?
It's possible.
Okay.
Because who would be top contenders in the NFL besides against America versus, let's say, Canada?
Well, no.
Anybody else? Maybe some European teams?
Mexico actually has a very good team. Japan has a very good flag football team.
Oh, okay.
But like you were saying, there's a possibility that NFL players come in and get smoked because it's a different game, but maybe just once. You know what I mean? But what I'm saying is, are we even doing a disservice, or is this really just an ad for the NFL to expand internationally further?
Which they're trying to do anyway.
Absolutely.
And what better way to scout international talent?
Absolutely.
And because it is a different game, but the fundamentals are the same. Speaking of things of that nature, this year's Hard Knocks will be the Buffalo Bills.
I am so excited for this.
I thought they said Dallas Cowboys.
No.
Pause. You're getting ahead of it. You're getting ahead of it.
Pause.
Okay.
But the Buffalo Bills will be your training camp Hard Knocks.
Wasn't this the obvious choice the entire time, though?
Absolutely.
Yeah, the moment Josh Allen proposed, apparently marriage is the theme of the show.
Now,
but as the moment he proposed to Haley Steinfeld, that was the one that they wanted.
Weren't they eligible? Because they made the playoffs last year. If you make the playoffs,
no, I don't think those rules matter anymore.
They don't. Those are
so
out the
many
window.
teams have turned it down.
Yeah,
they're like, we just got to find somebody.
They're just like, let us have somebody interesting.
To expand on what you said,
that here comes on.
The in-season Hard Knocks will be the entire NFC East.
Okay.
The way it was the AFC North last year,
And do the whole season. You got 4 teams.
I can't wait for my team to look incompetent 2 years in a row on behind-the-scenes stuff.
You get used to it. Do you? You do. Trust me, I'm used to it.
Well, look at me and my Pirates.
Don, you're not. I mean this with all the love in the world, Don.
Yeah.
You will never be a role model for me.
We will now have a different NBA champion for the 7th time in a row.
Yes.
And
here comes the good one.
time in a row that our MVP has been not born in America.
Oh, really?
Shane Gilgeous-Sanders.
Yep.
I never get his name right.
Gilgeous.
SGA.
Gilgeous. Yes, SGA.
Your role model
is
be Britt
shy.
Baker, by the way.
Sorry, what?
Your role model be Britt Baker.
No.
Okay.
She's got to get back on TV.
I
But, yeah, and the Pacers get their first Eastern Conference final win since 1994 last night.
Congratulations.
Did we,
In the Garden.
did we talk about the NBA factoid with the finals, though?
Go ahead.
That this will be the first time since 1996 no team from California nor Texas will be involved?
Huh. Wow.
So the last, and here's where it gets really funny to me. Our likely West Conference team, in my opinion, is going to wind up being Oklahoma City.
I've said it all season.
You absolutely have.
It's their world.
The last time this happened, Seattle was a representative.
Who deserves to get their team?
Who is now Oklahoma City. I thought that was really
Now,
interesting.
I also, right now, I mean, they play game 2 tonight against the Timberwolves. I'm still thinking they go in 5. I'll give the Timberwolves a game in this. OKC is on a roll. They have been for months, and this is not stopping now.
You can't make me pick against Anthony Edwards that confidently.
Mhm.
I think it's Oklahoma City, but I think it's a 6 or 7 game series just because Anthony Edwards, he has that it factor. He is, and I've said this time and time again, LeBron James is the most talented player to ever play in the NBA. Michael Jordan is the greatest, and following in that footsteps is Kobe because they have that it factor from top to bottom. Anthony Edwards is the next in that line. He may not have the support that MJ or Kobe did, but he's got that killer instinct where he can take over a game. I am not saying he goes out without at least a 6th game.
Just to remind you, we are at Riders Field tonight for the Rough Riders game against the Midland Rockhounds. First pitch is at 6:35. Come hang out with us. We'll be wandering around aimlessly. It's kind of what we do best. A lot of great things here with the Riders. Being Thursday, it's also Thirsty Thursday. $25 ticket gets you over there to that lazy river. It's 21 and up only on Thursday home games.
$2 beers.
$2
beers.
Oh, wow.
Also, I'm going to shout out to my boy Tom, who works for Texas Farmers Insurance.
Mm-hmm.
You get 2 free home game tickets on Sundays if you're one of their covered people.
Nice.
They got a lot of cool things they do. We were here for May the 4th for their Star Wars night. Had an absolute blast. We're going to be back here next month, back-to-back nights, June 26th and July 3rd will be the next 2 times we're here. Sunset Lounge DFW, right over here, right over there, and Alex's shirt. We're here every Thursday, home game.
This is a good time to be fat.
Whether it's us, whether it's
make a good
Shippy and
billboard.
Grooves, whether it's your dark companion, Al Maximo was here last week.
Just do the superhero pose.
Quesos de Frisco.
Quesos de Frisco.
Love it. We love the Rough Riders. We're so excited to be here tonight. I can't wait for it. It's cooling off, which is nice.
Yeah, it's nice.
I'm wearing a pseudo hockey sweater and not sweating to death, which is nice. Let's see here. I just want to say the following.
Uh-oh.
5 unanswered goals. 3 in the third period. Win in overtime. What? Now, are we headed for a collision that I am not prepared for? Yes.
Sir, you're going to have to clarify because I feel like I'm the only person that knows exactly what you mean right now.
If the Panthers and the Stars make the finals, I have a problem.
Yeah, you do.
But Panthers do have seniority.
They
Because
should.
we haven't talked about this in a very long time of why my love for the Panthers is what it is. Now, we know where I grew up, well documented. However, the night before they announced the Florida Panthers would be a team, that season, the NHL had a rule where you had to play 5 to 7 games at a neutral location. The reason they were doing that was they were looking for where to expand.
Yep.
So what does the NHL do in Miami? It's
The dirtiest arena they used.
but the game that was the night before they announced because they packed it,
Yep.
Rangers Islanders.
Yeah, well,
Marketing genius.
yes, it was.
Because
Well,
so many New Yorkers are in South Florida, you were gonna pack that arena.
dude, I was at that
I
game.
know. I was there too. So
Let me rephrase. We were at that game.
you were at that game. So I love both of these teams.
Yes.
You know, I'm gonna be if it happens, I'm good either way. I do have more Stars gear, but it's because I live here.
It is a convenience factor.
So.
I do appreciate the Panthers shield. I feel like that's their good card. That's why they've been on fire since that happened.
You are not wrong, sir.
But honestly, I feel like you can't make me, of the teams that are left, you can't make me root against the Panthers. But I kind of dig every team that's involved for different reasons right now. It's why hockey is so great. It's hard to root against certain people, and they just. Did you see the video of DeBoer after the Game 7?
I saw something earlier.
Okay, so I'm going to butcher the name, so I apologize. Shifley, who played for the Jets and actually wound up scoring a goal, his father had actually just passed before the game, and he decided to gut it out because it's, quote, what his dad would have wanted. DeBoer made sure to get to the front of the line, tell him how much he thought his dad would be proud of him and how much he thought of him. And that is one of the just biggest examples why hockey is better than everything else. These guys, like, you could be in a literal fist fight, but when it comes to it, they look out for their own.
Who do you honestly think will win, Carolina, or not say unbiased without your home?
You're the champs until somebody tells you
Okay.
otherwise. Florida's the defending champion.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you don't think Carolina can pull it out?
I think there's a possibility.
There's always a
Yeah,
chance,
yeah.
but you asked me to pick a team.
yeah,
So I'm
that's true.
picking a team.
And
I'm on the same boat.
I'm on the same boat unbiasedly.
Yeah.
But part of that is because I think Florida is more complete. And if you look at the last game, they just don't crack. When
Not
they
'cause
they turn it on, they turn it on.
Not because we live here, but I think Dallas is going to win the. I think they'll win the conference finals over Edmonton.
Right, but
Yeah,
that's the
think
other
that's what-
side.
yeah, I'm saying. I think I'd see the Stars. Who knows? Oh boy, the wind coming in.
Yeah, this is not going well.
Don, I need you to hold this.
Yeah.
Because I got to get back frame.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, we got a lot of wind going on here.
Yeah.
Because they opened
Out
the
of nowhere.
garage doors. That's why.
But I think I agree with
that's
Don. I think the Stars are pretty much that. Honestly, I think that's going to be another 7-game series, but I think the Oilers are going to put it out. I think we're going to get a total rematch from Small Child.
I got it.
Don, you got that? Yeah. So, but I think we're going to wind up getting a rematch of last year's.
I think this is going well.
This is not going well at all.
No, I might take the step and repeat down. Because
That's fine. Yeah, it's too windy. We're definitely getting some whippage through here. That sounded good. I know it's just that. But, Don, do you think it's the Stars and the Panthers, or do you think it's the Stars and the Hurricanes?
If I had to bet, I think it's going to be a close series. I think it's going to be in the end, the Florida Panthers. In the end.
Okay, so you're saying Stars and Panthers.
Yeah.
Or
Yeah.
what you think.
But
Okay.
if Carolina was to win it, I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah.
It's going to be a long series.
Actually, you want the funny one?
Yeah.
That they said on the broadcast, and I was like, oh, I forgot about that. The last time the Carolina Hurricanes, who we have talked about at length being such a quality organization, always being on the plus side of their win-loss and being in the playoffs, having a shot, the last time they made the Stanley Cup playoffs, the goal that sent them to the Stanley Cups, to the Stanley Cup, was scored by their coach.
Okay.
Was scored by their coach, who they started the game saying has a playoff coaching record of 76 and 71. So he has 147 games coached, and that's the last person to score a goal to send the Hurricanes to the Stanley Cup. That's insane.
All right, I think we're back to normal.
We are.
All right, boys, let's get into baseball. But before we get there,
Good job, Dylan. Don.
Yeah.
I am not as young as I used to be.
Okay.
Like I make a false move and everything hurts. So we know somebody that can help with that.
Yes, we do.
See, I segues are my thing.
Okay.
If you want to be free of pain, anxiety, and sleepless nights, and you can do it naturally, we know who can help you with that. The CBD House of Healing. It's a women-owned CBD boutique. Not only that, but their owner is a registered nurse. I posted a reel today of when she was on YDC recently. They carry only products from their lab. They're made to their quality standards. So you know it's going to be good. Their owner is Summer Hansen. She emphasizes building trusted relationships through education, giving you the knowledge to care for yourself. It's their ultimate goal. And really, that's what you need. Self-care is a big thing. And May is Mental Health Awareness Month. So find your relief from the aches and the pains, from the emotional stress and drain. I love that rhymes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can go online, cbddallas.com. That is cbddallas.com. Or if you want to go in person, get yourself a slushie. It's getting hot out there. 8550 Plano Road, Suite 101 in Dallas. So begin your healing at the House of Healing. And holy cow, that thing's picking up. Yeah, I got to face this way because it's getting a little bit. All right, boys, let's talk a little baseball. All right.
Oh, boy. Perfect place to talk about it.
Yeah, it's true.
You think I planned it that way. All right. In the American League, I'm using the wrong mouse. In the AL East, the Baltimore Orioles currently are 16-32. That's an even 333. Yeah. Oh, there's a mascot over there. They are 13 and a half games back in the AL East.
Okay.
They are currently 6.5 back of Tampa Bay. Tampa's a game back on Boston. Boston's a game back on Toronto. But the Yankees right now, who have won 4 in a row, they're 5 games up in the division.
Did you see the second City Connect jerseys for Boston?
Yes.
Did you see these?
No.
Okay, so they're starting to do the City Connect jerseys in the Major League.
Yeah.
Kind of like how other.
It's like you've seen the Rangers cream colored ones that have that old English TX. Those are called City Connect.
But they're expanding them out.
Okay.
And the next wave, because the first one that Boston did had their safety yellow with the baby blue on it, which is what they use in a lot of different areas. The new ones are modeled off of the Green Monster. So it's the same green as the wall and the same font for lettering and numbers as the Green Monster. They look amazing.
They're pretty sharp.
Not as good as Miami's, but we'll get there.
In the AL Central, the White Sox, who are not North America's favorite game show, but they're still 18 back in May. They are 12 games back of Cleveland. The Guardians are a half game back of Kansas City, who are tied with Minnesota. They're both 5.5 games back of Detroit. Well, by the way, after the 50 games, have the best record in Major League Baseball.
When Detroit is better, the baseball is better.
In the AL West, the Athletics. There's only 7 back in the division with 22 wins.
Just the Athletics.
Oh, yeah. I'm still getting used to that.
No, I just want to clarify so that we don't have to worry about it
They're
later.
2 back on Law. Law is a half game back on the Rangers. The Rangers now are a game back on Houston. The Astros are 3.5 back on Seattle. Let's get into the National League. In the NL West,
I have a funny feeling I know what's going to happen here.
Yeah, I know.
Colorado! Put a pin in it. I'm not even in a frame right now.
A big red pin.
Big red pin.
Arizona is 5 back in the division.
Okay.
Diamondbacks are 2 back on San Diego. San Diego's a game back on the Giants, and the Giants are 2 back on the Dodgers.
Okay.
So how bad do my Bucks stink right now?
Oh, we're getting there.
Yeah, I know it's time. It's the Central.
By the way, San Diego's dropped 6 in a row.
Oh.
The Pittsburgh Pirates are in the cellar, but you're doing better than Colorado.
Okay. Hey.
You're 13 games back, got 17 wins.
I still wish
You're
Mark
7
Cuban had bought the team when he had the chance.
I know.
You're 7 back on Milwaukee. The Brewers are a half game back on Cincinnati. The Reds are 2.5 back on St. Louis. Cardinals now 3 back on the Cubs. In the only division that matters, the NL East. My Marlins are terrible.
But they have a great City Connect jersey
Those
coming.
are awesome. They're 12 back. They're 3.5 back of Washington. The Nationals are 2.5 back of my Braves. They're still 500.
Okay.
Braves are 5 back on the Mets, and Mets are 2 back on the Phillies.
And we were up.
So, gentlemen, I think I'm closing this door.
I think we're all right.
Okay, just a lot of interference. Now it's time for North America's favorite game show. Here we go, kids. We're doing it live at the park.
Oh, yeah.
What is the run differential for the Colorado Rockies?
Sure, if I go first?
Do you want to stick to your number?
No. What?
You better not.
That's what I'm asking. So, last week I did 75, and I kind of got, you know what? I'm going to double that number. 150.
All right.
How do I think they've gotten worse than that? honestly, they've been so bad, I will up your on a limb, and I will go all the way to give you a 10-run spot to 160. Minus 160 for the Rockies.
The Colorado Rockies
Are terrible.
have 8 more wins than we do
Oh,
on May 22nd.
Yeah.
congratulations.
They have
Single
42.
digits. We're still in range.
They have 42 more losses than we do.
Losers.
That is a 160 winning percentage.
16%.
Remember I said Arizona?
16% more often than we do.
Arizona, remember I said they were 5 games back, right?
Yeah.
They are still 18 games ahead of Colorado. Colorado is 23 games back.
This is so bad. This is so very bad.
I can count their home wins on one hand. I can count their road wins
On 3
on
fingers.
one hand. They were 1-9 in their last 10. They've dropped 5 in a row. So obviously the manager got the problem. If I were to say the closest, it would be Alex.
But
that's not the game, my friend.
Oh,
nope. I gave you the buffer.
The Colorado Rockies. If you remember last week, it was minus 137.
Yeah.
No, I didn't remember.
At 20. It is minus 157.
Oh,
It's the end of May, bro.
I was going to say 155, but I thought that was too much of a jerk move, so I
No,
gave
it's
you
all
the
right.
10.
Here's the thing.
Yeah, it's so
They
bad.
play Coors Fields. I guarantee you that Coors, they're probably happy as be because everybody's getting
Actually-
drunk watching.
Well, no.
They can't want to
No,
get
no,
there
no.
getting drunk.
Forget all of that. You know what the craziest stat for the Colorado Rockies has been?
What's that?
They're still among the leaders in attendance.
Yeah.
Fans are still showing up.
But they're
No. But what I'm saying is, independent of anything else, they're still going to the games. They're still supporting the team. It doesn't matter. It is the perfect terrible storm if you have bad ownership that says, oh, so we don't have to try to make money. But at the same time, those are the kind of fans that deserve good teams.
And the thing is, like, they're rabid because, like,
Absolutely.
the Broncos, my gosh.
Denver fans are awesome.
Thing that in divorces in the Denver area in Colorado, they fight, besides the kids, they fight over the season tickets more than anything else in divorces. That's a fact.
I'd like to compare those numbers to the Packers.
Yeah.
Well, but there's only like 12 people in Green Bay,
You're
so
Literally, they
that's the offensive line.
So let's get into some TV talk and stuff we watched this week. I didn't watch anything new.
I have been a bit busy.
You have indeed.
Yeah.
Still going back to his face. I'm just like, I'm sorry, what happened?
It's like the
Real-time moment.
It's like the way I just dropped it in there.
Basically, I'd still like the season of Last of Us. That was pretty good. Nothing
Yeah,
really new.
that's true. I have been watching that as well.
The season finale of Happy Face was good, just to let you know. That was good. But nothing new.
All right.
Yeah, I'll be very curious to see how they land Last of Us for this. And especially since they've already been greenlit for season 3 and 4, right?
I think there's only, one season left?
There's only one episode.
left.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the next
They've got 2
episode is the
seasons.
finale.
We want to send our best to the family and friends of George Wendt.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Norm from Cheers. Also, uncle of one Jason Sudeikis.
Yes.
Who passed away this week. Absolute legend.
Mm-hmm.
You can't say a bad thing about the guy.
Not without lying.
So
And he did so many more roles.
Oh, yeah.
Well,
besides Cheers.
But the other thing is what people don't realize, and why I feel like if you like somebody who you see in a niche, go find their other stuff, because one of the craziest things is George Wendt was one of the most respected stage actors in New York.
Yep.
It's the amount of things he did other than just Norm, or other than, just the little things, and that's everybody. But his career with that long stretch where everybody knew his name just led to other things, and there was nobody who had a bad thing to say about him.
do you have a favorite Norm moment from Cheers?
Oh,
I have one.
I got one question. Did he actually drink beer in the TV shows?
allegedly, yes.
Okay.
Allegedly.
Or was it something else?
From what I read, it was beer.
Okay.
What's your favorite? You wanted to go for this.
He walked in and Woody said, "What's going on, Mr. Pearson?" He said, "Let's talk about what's going in, Mr. Pearson." One of my favorites, because everybody defaults to it's a dog-eat-dog world, and we're all wearing multiple underwear.
Yeah.
But that's always my favorite.
The one in that same vein that I really dug was I'll have a beer. Is it a little early? Is it a little early for that kind of question? Or is it a little early for that? Or what? Stupid question. No, I watched it. But I remembered that. It was near beer. Oh, it was near beer. Okay.
ABC News Mark Cuban is leaving Shark Tank after 14 years.
That's a surprise, but not wholeheartedly one. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if he's doing something himself in another area.
But I think he's going to be okay.
No,
I
heard a stat on this. He invested in over, I think, $33 million over the years.
Mm-hmm.
And the last thing he voted on was invested in was on a deviled egg company.
Yep, that just opened.
But he said that he has made over $250 million off those $33 million investments.
Now,
that deviled egg, they just opened one in Rockwall.
Yeah,
Okay.
but they've been around for a minute.
But what I'm saying is they
Yeah.
just opened
Yeah.
one near me.
Okay.
Yeah, the closest one to me is like up north of McKinney. That's the only reason I knew about it.
Yeah.
They were on Shark Tank.
Yes.
Too.
What was the company called? You know?
Deviled Egg Company.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's not creative.
Very
Yeah.
creative. ABC is rebooting Scrubs again
I don't know how I feel about this.
with Zach Braff.
I never watched it.
I love Scrubs.
Never
I
watched
do.
it.
It is really dumb comedy, but you
Yeah.
have to understand going into it. If you're okay with it being Mel Brooksian dumb comedy, you're good
It's
with
got
it.
a lot of heart too.
It has a ton. Oh my God! I don't think I've ever cried harder at a comedy than I did, other than the line, "Where do you think we are?" You remember that episode? And Brendan Fraser.
Apple TV is working on a 5-part docu-series called Mr. Scorsese.
Bring it, all of it.
I'm digging it.
Yeah.
I'm here for it.
Because you know what I want? I want one of those to just be the roles he has gotten because of who he is, whether it be Shark Tale or something like that.
Okay, it's one way to go with it.
Wait, what do you mean? Scorsese?
Martin Scorsese?
Yeah. Because he's done roles
Right, but I just-
independent of the directing.
That wasn't a way I thought you were going with that.
Okay, what did you
You had like one whole episode just about Leonardo DiCaprio.
Oh, no.
Oh.
I'm talking about the acting that he has done because of his directing.
I remember his American Express commercial. About the spin-off from Blue Bloods. It's being called Boston Blue.
Yes.
Ernie Hudson joining the cast for that.
Oh, really?
Always good with Ernie Hudson
So,
getting
Big
roles.
fan. And because SWAT will not go away,
Oh, no.
you're not getting SWAT back,
Oh.
but you are getting a spin-off called SWAT Exiles, with Shamar Moore being the only cast member returning.
Because that's all they need to announce.
CNN has announced that they're. I don't know if you guys know this, but you remember the movie George Clooney directed, Good Night and Good Luck?
Yes.
That was turned into a Broadway play.
Oh, okay.
CNN is going to show it live on June 7th.
That's cool.
And Clooney is playing the lead role in it.
Nice.
Which I don't know if I'd want to follow. Man, dude, was that Strathairn?
That was David Strathairn.
Unreal performance. CW has announced that Craig Ferguson is taking over their Scrabble game show.
That sounds right.
And they've also renewed Trivial Pursuit. So you're going to have Craig Ferguson and LeVar Burton back to back.
Let's go. Happiness.
HBO Max. They have renewed Ianu for season 2. Iyaanu. It's an animated series that's based on a group of children's books. And they have renewed Conan O'Brien Must Go for season 3.
I've heard nothing but great things about it.
Conan, whatever Conan
Yeah.
does.
I never got into that one.
Big news from Netflix this week.
I heard this one. I didn't know what it is.
Yeah. Netflix will be sharing the streaming rights for Sesame Street with PBS Kids.
Oh, okay. They're also changing the logo. They were talking.
I love that their upfront event is called Freedom because that's the noise it makes.
Do you know where that comes from?
No.
House of Cards. It's the sound of Frank Underwood banging his ring on the table.
I thought it was before that. Okay, fair enough. Let's see here. They have renewed Forever for season 2, and they've reported that Carey Mulligan is in talks to join the Narnia series they're doing.
She would fit
directed
well.
by Greta Gerwig. So I'm excited about that. And it's actually going to be a prequel based on the novel The Magician's Nephew.
Okay.
They were announced this week. And they're actually doing now after Mania, this kind of makes sense because of the company's ties to Netflix.
Yes.
They're doing an animated series for Clash of Clans.
I can see that. That makes sense.
We're so sorry, War Machine.
Yeah.
Paramount has renewed Yellow Jackets for a fourth season, and apparently they're having to make some pivots because I don't know that they were expecting it, and certain things have happened. They're like, okay, we have to retrofit some stuff.
Yeah.
We watched the first episode, second season almost. We lost it. It just.
You're the first person I've heard say anything negative about it.
My wife has started it. I don't know that she's caught up.
Sean liked
anything
it.
about it.
Oh,
So.
yeah, we watched the first season, but then it just got a little too weird on season 2 and stuff.
Okay.
And then Starz announcing that Power Book 3 Raising Kanan will end with season 5, and Shamik Moore is joining the cast for that.
Okay.
Well, one thing on TV, we did finally finish the last episode of the season.
We're a little bit closer to it, Don.
Might have been a little bit low, but late, but finally we finished Andor.
I haven't started
The first season or the second?
The new one.
Okay, I want to clarify what you mean. I haven't
started
started season 2 either.
Yeah, I won't say anything.
No. The only reason I'm holding back on it is I was having this discussion earlier. I remember absolutely loving season 1, but I can only pinpoint 2 or 3 instances.
I didn't like season.
I feel like I know you didn't like it. I feel like I need to go back and watch it. That's what I was getting at. Was even as somebody who liked it, I feel like I need to rewatch it.
We did watch that first episode they dropped of Duster on HBO Max. That's that one about the car, the Dukes of Hazzard kind of car.
Yes.
Josh Holloway in it.
Okay.
Where he goes undercover. But that one seemed okay in the first one. We'll watch another one.
DVD and Blu-ray this coming week. Season 2 of Marie Antoinette. Season 5, Part 2 of Yellowstone will be available.
Okay.
Season 7 of Outlander. And Season 14, Voyage 4 of One Piece. Do you know that show has almost 1,200 episodes?
Yeah, every time I see the number, it breaks my
It's
brain.
insane. Any movies, stuff we watched this week that doesn't count what's coming out tomorrow?
The only thing we have, I believe, is what's coming out
All right.
tomorrow that we would be revealing from
I will say-
ClubhousePodcast.com.
That's
It
our
was
website.
late because I never got to it, but finally it streamed. But we finally saw The Brutalist, the 3.5-hour movie.
The what?
The Brutalist.
Oh,
Adrian Brody. So we finally did watch that. It DVR'd it and spent the 3.5 hours, but in the end, it wasn't a waste.
How many bathroom breaks though in 3.5?
In the house? We could stop and everything. Probably twice, I think.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's probably what I was expecting to.
So speaking of tomorrow, you will be able to stream Mickey 17
Yes.
on HBO Max tomorrow.
That I am looking forward to.
The Robert Pattinson thing.
Okay.
Oh my God, he's still alive. It's fine.
We've got more Sunrise on the Reaping casting news.
Yes, we do. Great cast.
Ray Fiennes will be playing President Snow.
Yes.
Elle Fanning is going to play Effie Trinket.
Yes.
That's Elizabeth Banks'
Yes,
character.
it is.
Which
This is the Haymitch prequel for Hunger Games.
Okay, I heard about this. Yeah.
And Kieran Culkin is going to play
Yes.
a younger version of Caesar Flickerman. who's
Yes,
played by the
it's
Tubes.
perfect.
So we're
I'm
really
on that. The casting that they are doing on this is really incredible. But the thing that I always find interesting with these, and I would love to at some point talk to a casting director,
Mhm.
because this is a big project, right? Like
Hollywood movie.
it doesn't get much larger of a project than Hunger Games. Your title character, your main character of Haymitch, is going to be an unknown. And the number of times they go out of their way and find these unknown young actors that just knock it out of the park, I want to know what goes into the casting decision. Because everybody else that we have talked about in this cast could be called just A-list and moving forward.
Yep. FKA Twigs is in talks to play Dorothy Baker in a biopic. That's going to...
She's 0 for 1 with me.
Well, as much as I am not a Halle Berry fan,
yeah.
she crushed it in that movie.
Okay.
And it was an HBO movie in the late 90s.
The only thing I saw her in was that Crow remake. And you know how angry that made me.
Oh, I hated that. I finally
Same.
saw it. I'm like,
Uh,
what?
We mentioned Conan O'Brien earlier.
I was mad at myself for saying awake.
It has now been announced that Conan O'Brien will be playing a character called Smarty Pants in Toy Story 5.
Yes.
So continuing to stack the deck there. And Joey King is in talks to join the cast of Practical Magic 2 with
I'm
Don's favorite
still
actress.
surprised that that's happening. I am still surprised that that's happening.
It's
in all
old
of
is
these.
new again, my friend.
But like all of these movies, like all it took was one movie absolutely crushing their 30 years later sequel.
Mhm.
So way to go, Tom Cruise. This is all your fault.
So other things releasing this week before we talk about the one thing all three of us saw, the Lilo and Stitch live action hits tomorrow. I don't know if you saw what I posted earlier today, but they had a Lilo and Stitch thing on the Sphere.
I did not see this.
It's pretty cool.
The closest I saw in that scope was, do you have something about Jurassic Park and popcorn buckets?
I do not.
Okay, we'll save it.
Scarlett Johansson did a very good job on SNL.
Oh, she did.
And so did and Bad Bunny's Bad Bunny.
Yeah.
Benito.
I love that skit that they did with speaking Spanish, standing up for the women.
Opening
That was classic.
Friendship, which is kind of a dark comedy this week. The Last Rodeo, that's had a few screenings here in Dallas and in Fort Worth with Christopher McDonald. A movie called Sister Midnight.
Shout out Neil McDonough.
And Trail of Vengeance this week. But the big one this week is going to be Mission Impossible: The Final Reckoning.
Yes.
All three of us have reviews this film. You can see that at www.theclubhousepodcast.com.
That's our website.
Yeah, no, it's still because we've already done
missed
it once.
one, though.
Oh, okay.
Still a website. Good job.
Ding.
Definitely one of us liked it. The other two kind of didn't. You'll find out for yourself.
You mean Final Dead Reckoning Part 2?
You shut your dirty mouth.
No, please not.
Movies on DVD and Blu-ray.
Why not make the title 3 hours long? The movie was.
remake. That's the same.
No, dude, now you're ruining it. You're ruining it.
DVD on Blu-ray this week. The Day the Earth Blew Up, the Looney Tunes movie.
Yes.
Will be available. I do want to see that. Heavier Trip, which is a sequel. I can't remember what it's a sequel to. Magazine Dreams.
I am intrigued by this. I've heard a lot of people who said it's very good.
It's very dark.
Yes.
Starman getting the 4K Steelbook treatment.
Interesting.
Back in the day. The Colors Within is getting a limited edition Steelbook.
Yeah.
A Better Place Director's Cut. Not the horror film.
Right.
This is from Smod Castle Films. This was a
Right.
film that Kevin Smith produced many years ago.
Yes.
Criterion Collection has Killer of Sheep and then 2 films by Richard Lester of his version of The Three Musketeers and The Four Musketeers
Okay.
available this week. Really the only thing I want to say for wrestling because it's going to get old real fast. 2 things. Or 3 things. 1, somebody's listening to this show.
Yeah.
Shout out Mike DeVecchio. Number 2.
Like DiVecchio.
If you're hosting WrestleMania next year, step forward. Not so fast, New Orleans. WrestleMania will not be in New Orleans next year. But we've heard rumors that we're going to hold on to it. And they're trademarking King of the Luchadors.
Yeah. Well,
Is this going to replace King and Queen of the Ring, do you think?
I don't think it will. I don't think you like where I think it's going.
Well, we'll save it for another day because
Yeah.
we're running short on time.
Because I think it's going to be very, very bad.
So
Off air.
maybe grande bad?
It's going to be a grande size bad.
All right, it's almost time for first pitch.
Can I
6:45
give
tonight.
one shout out?
Please,
Bring up
absolutely.
Allen, Darby Allen.
You made it to the top of Everest with
Yes.
an AEW flag and gave
Yep.
the diamond cutter symbol.
So, how many people have actually climbed that? You got to give it to the guy.
And if they said it's going to take 3 to 4 days for him to descend it,
Oh yeah.
so they
Yes.
still don't think he'll be available for Sunday.
Yeah, if they
Sure.
maybe it might be all in or whatever, but he's
Still,
still
like I'm gonna make the face. He's gonna be there.
no. I mean, the deep
I think he
depression. But literally,
It's
yeah,
Darby
it is.
Allen. He's an idiot.
He'll parachute in.
Yeah,
You know, he'll forget the parachute. He'll be cartoon style. He'll open the backpack and utensils will fly out, and then he'll just cough and drop through the cage.
The Midland Rockhounds are here, ready to take on the Frisco Rough Riders. That game starts in just over 40 minutes. Get on down here. Come on. We'll be wandering around aimlessly. Every Thursday home game, somebody from that's coming.
I'm just
Doing live shows.
proud of you.
We love this. Make sure you come hang out. Check out all the great shows right here at Sunset Lounge DFW. Tell everybody you know about it. And next week, Alex and I will be on a very special assignment. We'll give you details on that coming very, very soon. We're going to be, for just so you know, we're going to be at the Longhorn Ballroom for a very special charity event
Yes.
with friend of the show, Mike Reiner. Never
Friend
gets
of the
old.
show. Like, how
Never
happy are
gets
you
old.
to say that?
Never gets old. Right there.
Yep.
That's a QR code. Scan it. Find out about all of our social medias. Follow us on all your social medias. You can follow me on your social medias. Everything is Rob Urban. That is PRVIN.
I'm Vexploit on all social media. If you'd like to help out the show, please click that QR code, or go to ProWrestlingTees.com and search for the Cheap Popcast. Got a lot of different shirt designs, a lot of different color options within those shirt designs. If you're an artist and you want to tweak a design or even submit one for us to sell, you'll get paid for 100% of those shirts that sell, and you can send that to me at alex@theclubhousepodcast.com.
And that URL to make those awesome shirts that even make me look good. ProWrestlingTees.com/G-Podcast. At Twitter, I'm Medic Bunu. And if you want this match, your place, email me, Clubhousepodcast.com. But also, happy Memorial Day, everybody. Have a safe weekend. Remember what the original for the weekend is for the people that sacrifice for freedoms we have today. And also, I want to thank you again, the Rough Riders. Thank you so much. We love you guys.
We love doing live promotions and hang out with the Emperor. You can email me questions, comments, concerns. Tell me to go pound sand. I am Rob at theclubhousepodcast.com. Share your Marshalls on Pinterest because we are morally obligated to say that. Our normal show every Thursday night at 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific is your one-stop shop for all things sports, entertainment, pop culture, pro wrestling. So until next time, for Alex, for Don, for the Rough Riders, we're going to win tonight, and the Empire, I'm Rob. Clubhouse is closed. Brittany Palmer, where are you at?
This is a Stolen Water Media production.